Good afternoon, friends and investors. Hope everyone is having a great day. So, what is the market telling us today? After a few weeks of ups and downs, a lot of downs, looks like the market's trying to fight back a little bit today. Right now, the Dow is up a little bit, about 0.6%. The SPYs are down just a touch, and NASDAQ is up about a quarter of a percent. So, what's been going on, and how are we to react to all the news that we've been hearing about? Well, first off, if you remember back when the Fed uh, had their meeting a few weeks ago, and in their um, conference call afterwards, they kind of hinted at the rate cuts for this year weren't going to be 4 or 5 rate cuts, but they changed their mind now. It might only be 1 or 2. Well, the market didn't like that news, and that afternoon it dropped 1,000 points. The Dow dropped 1,000 points. Then the following week, it kind of clawed its way back a little bit. I guess people thought it was probably oversold. So they tried to get back in. And then last Friday, we had the jobs report come out, and it was a lot better than expected. The number of new jobs were significantly higher than what people had thought it was going to be. So that just added fuel to the fire for this decrease in rate cuts for this year. And again, the market didn't like that and dropped 600 points. So, what are we supposed to take from that? Well, we also need to look at the treasuries. The treasury yields are approaching all-time highs. They're getting close to 5%. So that's making it tough for the market to get any kind of traction. So what are we to do? Well, there are a few bond ETFs that you might want to consider now. Um, a couple of them are that I recently bought are PRCPX. Let's just put that on here. PRCPX. Um, that right there is a T. Rowe Price Credit Opportunity Fund, um, which is a bond fund that invests in credit instruments. That's one I purchased. Right now it's selling for $7.96. That's one that I purchased last week. Another one you might want to consider is PRHYX. Let's see. PRHYX, which is another T. Rowe Price. This one is a high yield fund, trading right now at $5.91. And then SPHY. SPHY. That one right there is just a Spider high yield bond ETF. And that one right now is trading at $23.40. So there are a couple things that I purchased kind of as a interim play until the market kind of settles down a little bit, and maybe come January 20th after Trump is sworn in, things will settle down some. But for right now, it's uh it's it's kind of choppy. So that's something that I consider doing, and like I said, I put some positions of that stuff on last week. Now I noticed something today that you might want to consider, and that's J.P. Morgan. Let me see if I can't pull up the charts for that, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, so if you can see this, this is the 6-month chart for JP Morgan. And you'll notice today it touched the bottom Bollinger Band. It had been in a steadily decline over the past couple of days. So today it touched the bottom of the Bollinger Band and started going up. It now has gone above the 200-day moving average, and it looks like it's on pace to hit the top Bollinger Band. You'll notice that the MACD is turned up, momentum is up, RSI is up. So what I did today was bought an option on JP. Well, I didn't buy. I sold a put spread on JP Morgan. And it was for like 35 days, something like that. So we're going to see what happens with JP Morgan, but I wanted to show you that because it looks like to me this is a good buying opportunity. So let's look at the economic calendar for this week. I'm on the Thinkorswim platform, and right now I'm up under Market Watch, and you go to calendar, and they'll list all of the earnings reports that are coming out, the economic events, any kind of market news, anything that you wanted to consider. You can show dividends, splits, whatever. But right now I've got the earnings pulled up and the economic events are pulled up. So we get into some earnings seasons here. Right now it's got some companies that are not really on my radar screen right now. But a couple things are happening this week with the economic data. Let's see, when was it? We got CPI prints coming out this week, Consumer Price Index. That'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then another interesting, on Friday, we get the retail sales report coming out. That'll be nice to know what's going on with that. So those two events probably could move the market. Just looking now to see what else we got going on here. We've got a lot of earnings coming out. But like I said, I don't see anything. Oh, JP Morgan's earnings is coming out on Wednesday. So since I just told you about an option position I just bought, that'll be very interesting to see how their earnings report comes in. Let's see. Wells Fargo looks like they got their report coming out on Wednesday. So anyway, if you're interested, that's where you find that information. The Thinkorswim platform, go to Market Watch, and then go to the calendar, and you can find all that kind of stuff. So we're going to close this out, and I'll be back in just a minute. So to recap, we talked about the Fed meeting from a few weeks ago and how the rate cuts now have seemed to dwindle from 4 down to 1 or 2 this year. We briefly touched on the jobs report that came out Friday and how it was better than expected. We touched on the Treasury yields and how they're approaching 5% now, which is kind of weighing on the market a little bit. And then we talked about a couple of trade ideas with the bond funds and JP Morgan. So I hope you found some of that interesting and helpful. Hope you guys have a great trading week. And we're going to talk to you guys real soon.